I'll say I love where I live now. Oh, this is farmer wants a wife, you know, it's not farmer wants to sell his ranch, move, and live happily ever after there.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. We're talking episode 10 of Farmer Wants a Wife.
That's right, everybody.
Not the finale.
Or as Hunter likes to say...
Yes, Hunter likes to say, this show's Farmer Wants a Wife, not Farmer Wants to find a girl, sell his farm, and move away. Right? Let me apologize in advance for my voice. I'm fighting some pretty bad bronchitis, but hey, the show must go on, so here I am.
All right, so episode 10... Landon is back. He was off for 3 weeks, but like you, show must go on.
Yeah.
He didn't want to leave these women hanging.
Nah, man. Well, they gave him 3 weeks off, I guess, what they said. You know,
Yeah.
so that's a good amount of time, I think.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
most
still-
employers only give you 2 days. So.
Right, yeah, that's true.
I still think that's tough to like go and answer these questions and do all that.
Yeah.
when you got
Yeah,
that
it's-
going on.
Yeah,
So.
it's definitely got to be.
He handled it pretty well, though.
Yeah, he did.
And I think her family kind of handled that pretty well, too.
Yeah. Well, when he was talking to her family, you know, they were like, you know, hey, we're sorry for your loss. So, yeah, he's like, these things happen. You know, unfortunately, just sometimes there's never really a good time for it, you know. So,
Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
never be prepared or whatever.
Mhm.
But they go meet the families again, and they ask a lot of similar questions, like, what attributes do you like about this girl? Like, they're all getting asked that. Like, what makes you like her?
None of them
And
can
none of them had an
really
answer.
Yeah, none of them can really
I don't
answer
even
it,
think
though.
Hunter answers at all. Like, or at least they don't even show it. Like, they kind of just
No,
No.
Hunter's
skip over
like,
it.
and that's,
Well, that's an awkward
That's
question.
about-
Ha ha ha.
that's
Everybody
about-
laughs and
that's
then they
about
move
all I get
on. Well, what about the answer to the question?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess we don't get to see that.
It's not that interesting of a question.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a blame answer anyway. Like,
And you expect every guy's going to get that question anyway, right?
It's always
So,
they're nice, they're kind, they have a kind soul, they're beautiful.
Alan's like,
Hard.
she works hard.
Alan said some good stuff
He
about
did.
Rebecca. He's like, hey, Rebecca's a hard worker, you know. He's like, I noticed that about her. And her friend's like, yeah, she is, you know. And I thought Alan had a lot of good stuff to say, man. I thought he fit in pretty well with Rebecca's friends there, and they liked him. And that old lady liked him. She's like, man, if I was about 20 years younger, I'd like him even more.
Yeah,
So-
but she also wishes he was in California, doesn't want
Yeah.
to move. And I'm like,
That seems to be a
why
big
are you
issue with a
people
lot of
coming
these
on
women.
this show?
Yeah, exactly. You know, again, you know, and I even commented on Hunter's Twitter because of that. Because again, it's like, why are these women coming on this show? It's called Farmer Wants a Wife. You know, like Hunter said, any call farmer wants to sell his farm, move away, you know, from fairy tale ending. You know, and that ain't life. You know, so these women coming here thinking, oh, you know, I'll just get him to move. It's like, no, you won't. You know, that's not what this show is about. This show is about, can you fit in on his farm? And can you handle that lifestyle and potentially marry him and live there with him? That's what the show is about.
And I'm kind of
You know?
surprised by like Becca because, you know, she's into the horse training and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So if anyone, I thought she might be the one to kind of like be excited to go.
But here's the
live on
deal.
the
Yeah.
farm.
They go back home and they're like, oh, yeah, this is home.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, too, I guess with Rebecca, you know, the type of horse training she does, I guess maybe is big in California, but not so big in Tennessee because he was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen that before, you know?
Mm.
But it's cool to watch him go out there with it, though. And, you know, she was, you know, kind of teaching him how to train a little bit and stuff. But at the same time, you know, I don't think it'd be impossible for her to up and move that business to his farm, you know? But again, you know, how much customers would she get if, you know, if that type of horse training is not, you know, not big in Tennessee? I guess that's a question for her, right? So,
Yeah. And she did not seem to really be overjoyous about Tennessee compared to
No.
California.
Yeah, no.
So,
No.
and seems to be a going trend this week.
Well,
so
It is.
and I'll say, California, man, especially where she was at there, it's beautiful, you know, and the weather's great. You know, you got to love that weather there.
Yeah, but it's California.
Yeah, but it's California, exactly.
I mean,
that's
there's
the-
a
that's
lot
the downside.
of negative in living in California.
Yes, there is.
one, it's expensive. So,
Yeah, I lived there for 7 years, and I mean, the weather's great, but that's about it. So,
but yeah. So Landon goes and visits Ashley L's family. What'd you guys think about that interaction and everything?
I thought that was fine. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they were respectful of his loss and everything like
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
And they're in Dallas.
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, that was cool. You know, it was nice seeing him go to downtown Dallas there and have some dinner with him.
I mean, really, Ashley, can you imagine raising your kids on the farm?
I actually thought Ashley's parents were harder on her than Landon.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
They're like,
and rightfully so.
Are you
they should
gonna?
be.
Are you? I just don't know if I see you living on a farm.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yep.
questions about living on the farm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and she hesitated with the answer, but eventually she thought she could see herself living anywhere as long as she was
She's
with the
in
person
love.
she loved.
I don't know if
but-
Mama was buying it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mama wouldn't buy it. And that's the thing, though. Most of these girls, man, they're in their early 20s, early to mid 20s, and they don't know what real life is yet and real love is, you know. And
Or what
they're
hard
still,
work is.
What
like,
hard work is. They're still looking for that fairy tale. Like, oh yeah, I can marry a farmer and live on the farm and be happily ever after if I love him. And it's like, it ain't that simple, honey. It
When
ain't
I
that
say
simple.
hard work, I just want to put out that I mean like hard manual labor work. Like I know some of these girls have been very ambitious with their careers and stuff, so I'm not putting that down.
I mean, they're all very, very hard workers in their own line of work, right? But
Yeah.
there's a big difference between what they do in, marketing or stuff like that versus what you do on a farm, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And Ashley tells Landon like she just wants to be enough for somebody. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that kind of like
She got low
broke my heart a
self-esteem.
little bit
Yeah.
for her.
I
You
don't know
know,
if it's, I mean, she's competing with other women and stuff
no.
like that. I think she's just trying to message to her.
Here's why I
too.
say she's got low self-esteem, because she kept calling the other woman, and she says this happens to her every time. The guy always finds someone better.
yeah.
It's like, no, sweetheart, you don't find someone better. You just find someone different. Don't talk down to yourself like that. It's because
It just goes to show she's young and
Yeah, exactly.
and doesn't realize that those people who are finding someone better obviously weren't meant for you. So
Well, and the fact that Landon didn't
And
stick
they're
up
not
for
better.
her, and the fact that Landon didn't stick up and say that, I was like, Landon, this is probably a good opportunity for you to say, hey, ain't nothing better, just different, But he didn't.
Yeah, I kind of get the sense Landon's not going to pick her. And like, she kind of goes, it looks like they're about to kiss, and then Landon like diverts to her nose or whatever. So,
awkward.
which was like an awkward, funny scene. But
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's like foretelling anything or if he's just honestly trying to be respectful or what.
Well, that's what he says. He says it's hard for him to go from one family saying not I love, but like how much he adores their daughter and the family and everything, and then turn around and kind of make out with these. He just feels disingenuous doing that, and I get that. I actually got the opposite impression. I really think he's gonna choose her.
I think he likes her a lot. I do, and I get what he was saying. But at the same time, I'm with Ryan. You gotta kiss the girl, man. You gotta figure out if you're, that type of compatible as well. So there ain't nothing wrong with going out and visit a girl's family and kissing her, and then going to visit the other girl's family and kissing her if that's what the show is about, and it's about finding you a good compatible wife, right? 'Cause that's just part of the compatibility process.
They've kissed before. It's just, I guess, the timing of it.
That's
And-
what I'm thinking. He's going to choose the other one.
Well, he
And
didn't
he's
kiss the other one either.
And he's not going to come out and say, well, I didn't kiss you because I'm not going to choose you. He ain't going to say that. So,
I don't
yeah,
see
of
it
course he's
that
going to
way.
say, like, I want to be respectful because that's the smart thing to say.
Yeah, I didn't see
But
that
I don't know.
either, but we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
I still think he probably will choose Ashley R a little more, but I do think he likes Ashley. I think he likes her, and he was really, enjoyed his time with her. So
I think he could also just not choose either of them.
yeah, possibly. And right now, I think we might see that with another farmer too.
That would be
here,
interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he does end up choosing one of these two, but I don't know.
Yep.
And it's close. I don't know who he's
I
gonna
think it'll
choose.
probably be
Uh-huh.
Ashley R, but it wouldn't surprise me if he chooses Ashley L either. At this point, either one of these girls, I think could.
And Ashley R was his first pick,
Yeah.
like initially.
Yeah.
So I think he does have a connection.
Now Ashley R is older, right? She's in her 30s, so I think she's a little more grounded as far as what to expect. And I think I think she did a pretty good job when she was out there on the farm with him. I think she'd probably be the better choice in the end of the.
I agree with
when
that.
everything's said and done, but.
She also already has a child,
Mm.
and family's really important to him. And he doesn't seem to be. I mean, even though he's never experienced dating someone with a child, he doesn't seem to be bothered about bringing
exactly.
this child into and making a family with her.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good fit.
And I think if that was a huge turnoff to him, he wouldn't have brought her.
Wouldn't
this
never
far,
chose her.
so.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
he's honestly like considering that and kind of okay with it to have her be one of the two in the end.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
All right, let's get to Hunter visit Megan in Tennessee.
Ooh.
Oh, I did it last week. Hunter. I'm doing it again, man. It's
Hunter.
what
Oh.
butterflies. Oh, she gave me butterflies. Yeah, but she also just told you that she doesn't want to freaking spend the rest of her life on the farm and doesn't really look forward to living there. So it's like, dude, what?
Kind of reinforces that
Yeah,
every
she
chance
did,
she
exactly.
gets. So.
And you even said it yourself. Hey, man, this is farmer wants wife, not farmer wants to move away and sell his farm, right? So at that point, that's the biggest red flag you ever had on this show.
Being back makes me realize I do miss home. My goal is to eventually come back.
On this show, right there. Granted, you know she's got giving you butterflies and you like her this much, and maybe you're falling in love with her. But at the end of the day, how is that going to work if she doesn't want to be on that farm? You know, or if she's giving you ultimatums.
Here's
it doesn't work.
My 2 cents on Megan. I don't really like her. I think she's disingenuous.
Yeah, I think she is as well at this point.
I think that, you know, she came onto the show early on. She kind of shied away and said she was going to leave because this wasn't her scene, and she was very shy and quiet. But if you watch her in interviews on this, she's very extroverted. She's very assertive.
No, she is.
And she comes across that way.
And with her family, too. When she's sitting there with her family, the way she's talking, she's outgoing, you know.
She's, again, assertive with him. Like, you know, basically she's saying, maybe I'll go live on the farm with you for now, but we're going to end up in Tennessee. Like, she's putting that out there. And I think, you know, she's an event coordinator. I think she signed up for this show thinking, okay, well, maybe this might be a good outlet for, like, you know, someone who owns a farm. I want to host weddings at a venue.
She already said that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, a farm is can be a nice venue for a wedding. So I think that she had ulterior motives coming in for the show.
She is young at the same time, so maybe there's some immaturity, or maybe she doesn't have enough life experiences yet. Or
no, but
I don't know.
She's definitely got a little more motivation going on other than just finding her husband here, you know. And yeah, I don't like what she's doing with Hunter at this point. I don't.
At least that's what I'm seeing.
Well, when Hunter looks at Megan, he doesn't see anything else. I don't know if he hears anything else.
Right. Oh, he heard it because he was like, "Whoa," you know. But then then it's like, "Oh, but butterflies, la 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 la."
Yeah, those red flags. He's like, "Just put it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Just put it down." Yeah. He sees them, and then he's like, "We'll just put it down."
No, go away. I don't know how you plan on making a marriage work when it's just going to be a constant battle of, okay, Hunter, when are we going to sell this farm and move to Tennessee?
Yeah.
You know, you can't have it.
Well, let me flip it. Like, why can't he have a farm in Tennessee?
How hard?
He's already got a farm established, and he's probably got family himself.
Yeah, exactly. Land ain't cheap. You know, so you'd have to buy a whole new freaking, you know, several hundreds of acres of land in Tennessee, build everything he needs to build for that farm, you know, reestablish everything, and that's expensive as hell, man. Yeah, that's expensive as hell. You can't just, you know, that ain't easy.
So they go and they talk about it in the creek, you know. Yeah. They go and like just stand in the creek. I thought that was a little odd.
Yeah. When they get their
they got the boots for it, though, so it seemed pre-planned or something. I don't know.
I was definitely playing.
He just wanted to look at her. He wasn't listening to anything. No. He was just like,
he made sure he told her, "Don't get my britches wet."
All right, let's get to Ryan.
Yeah, poor
this
guy.
One is very interesting. He goes to New York City.
Yeah. Hey, can we say Ryan?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I won't even say Ryan. I'll say Sarah. Sarah did him dirty here. This made me think that Sarah V was totally on this show to get famous, to get her face out there. Or Sarah H, excuse me. Sorry, Sarah V.
Sarah with an H.
Sarah H. Because, and what really killed me too, how inhospitable was it? She didn't even invite him into the house to let him down, right? She let him down on her. Like this man invites you into his house for 6 weeks to live with him, eat with him, hang out with him, see his life, and you can't even invite him into your house for a drink to let him down. It's like, come on now. Yeah, that completely turned me off to Sarah H. Made me think she was on here just to get famous, and I was like, man.
She waited to this moment too.
Yeah,
exactly. Now,
I know.
With that being said, I think there's more that goes on behind the scenes that we see, and I think Ryan knew it was coming because at this point he's like, all right, well, I want to reach out to Haley while I'm in New York, so I'm feeling upset that I'll let her go. I want to bring her back, so I think something goes on in the show where they're like, hey, it's probably not going to work out with Sarah. Maybe you want to.
I don't know. Between the two of them, I think that he knew that was coming. He
knew it was coming.
I mean, at least what we were shown with what was filmed, he wasn't saddened by it. He wasn't hurt by it.
He was sad. He was crying.
He was crying.
He had just finished crying when they were talking to him. You still see little tears in his eyes. His eyes are red.
He was highly impacted by this.
He was upset.
By her leaving? I don't see that.
He was upset.
This is the most emotional we've seen from him.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw the emotion when they were talking about him talking about Haley.
No, but you could tell he was crying.
Emotional to that too.
You could tell he was crying. You could tell he'd been crying. And you felt for him. I was like,
on the porch, he's like, yeah, I get that, I appreciate that, thanks, bye. Like, it was just done. It was over.
Well, what else could he say? What else can he say?
He didn't fight for her. He didn't try to keep her.
Because how are you going to fight for that? Well, number one, what really ticked me off too was when she's talking to her family. She's like, yeah, I just don't want to settle. And it's like, really, you're going to say it on national TV, like, this man invites you to his house for 6 weeks to live. You decided to go on this show. And they're like, oh, I don't want to settle. Yeah, you got to meet his mama. It
Watch
just got
other women
Yeah.
get dismissed, knowing
Right,
you were
for
never
you.
going to stick around.
exactly.
I mean, she essentially said, "I don't know if he's worth the sacrifice
Yeah.
of like leaving the city." And I'm like, "Wow."
yeah, and I don't know if and I don't
Why
want to
did
settle.
you
Yeah.
apply for the show?
Exactly,
Fame.
because you want to get famous.
Yeah.
At this point, that's what I truly think about Sarah H. So I've got, she's not a good person.
Now I do wonder. I did not see Ryan and Haley making much of a connection either, and I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if it was convenient because he was already in New York City, she's in New York City, so maybe the show's
Well-
trying to throw a Hail Mary to say, well, you got to choose between two women because
Yeah.
you can't just have a finale with you with one girl.
Well, I will say Haley is a sweetheart, man. She's a sweet girl, really nice girl, and the way Ryan let her go, man. I get what he was trying to say. Obviously, he worded it very wrong, saying you're
And he
emotional.
admits to that.
Yeah, and he did admit to it. But I could see how he could try to maybe want to reconnect with her and like, hey, you know what, man, maybe.
I know I made a mistake. I made a big one.
I made a mistake there. Her emotions I shouldn't take as a bad thing, and she was a sweetheart. She was really nice to me. We got along great. So let me give this a try.
Do you really think he missed her? Or do you think this was a second guess when he realized that
think-
it was over with Sarah?
I think he, just by looking at him talk about her and stuff, I think he probably did miss her a little bit. I think he probably
Do you
did.
think the last 2 or 3 weeks or however long she's been gone that he's been like,
I don't think he's been pining over her the way he said he
No?
has. Maybe not, but he's definitely. I think he's probably been thinking. I mean, he says he's been thinking about it. He probably has. He's probably been thinking about her like, man, probably shouldn't have let her go.
do you think she's been thinking about him?
Probably. She
Yeah.
was upset. She was
Well,
visually
I like how
upset.
she didn't really
She was visually upset
respond
when she
to
let go.
this. She's like, I got to think about this.
Yeah. But she was definitely visually upset when she got let go. You could tell she didn't want to go. She wanted to be there. So I think she probably thought about him.
All right.
But
We don't know how that
but-
plays out yet,
This
though.
is kind of interesting too, and a little disrespectful to Sarah V, who he just had like a good home visit.
I
for.
do think it's a
Well-
little disrespectful, to be honest with you. I mean, if he really feels this way towards Haley, then
Yeah.
he's got to go through the process, right? Like,
He's got to go through the process.
be true to yourself in the process and everything, but it goes to tell you that he hasn't settled on her because he's like, well, let me explore this other option.
If he's being honest about Haley,
Yeah.
then I guess so.
He's being
Right?
honest about it. Right, exactly. So I don't see it disrespectful to Sarah V. I see it as him being true to himself. Like, hey, you know what? I really need to just, hash out this other possibility here to make sure that, whether I made the right decision to let her go or not. So
And we
I
don't
think
know
it's disrespectful
if the
to Sarah V.
show kind of said, "Hey, Haley's also here. Did you want to try and
That's what I said earlier.
do that?" Yeah,
Right,
that's what I'm
exactly.
saying. So
Yeah.
we don't know if that's the case. Or
I think
not.
that's probably something had to do with it. I think the show probably knew that something was going on with Sarah, and they probably freaking was like, "Hey, man, Haley's here. If you want to reach out to her, because I don't."
But
see,
is it a matter of convenience, or does he actually feel that?
I don't see that what Sarah H did taking the show by surprise. I think they were like probably ready for that to happen. So,
So you think, what if Haley wasn't in New York City? What if Haley was somewhere in like Boston or California on the whole other coast? Do you think he would have flown out there to talk to her?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know about it at that point.
no. But we'll see.
Maybe
I mean, we only know so
maybe-
much.
Maybe
So.
been a phone call or something. Like, hey, honey, you want to come back?
What did you think about him running around New York
Text.
City? You think he felt at home or awkward or what?
No, he was definitely awkward for him. Yeah. No, you
I
can
don't know.
tell.
He's got remember, he knows how to do
Yeah.
the city
you
life
can
a
tell
little bit.
he does, but you can tell he wasn't that comfortable either. I mean,
Well, probably because of the circumstances.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that probably had a lot to do with it too. That's true. But I'm sure he enjoyed it. I mean, we've all been in New York. A couple times we've been there. It's fun to visit. I sure as heck would never want to live there, but it's a fun place to visit and hang out.
People
a little
love
bit, But
Sarah H with an H probably loves it.
no, well,
Yeah.
evidently she does. Yeah.
Can't leave.
Yeah, this was a bombshell for me. I mean,
Yeah.
because Sarah with an H was kind of like the front runner here.
We
and
all
then
said he
she
was going to
just-
choose her. Like,
Yeah.
that was it. Like, this.
So for
his
her to do like a
decision's done.
180 like this is
That's crazy, man.
surprising.
But we did say even though we thought he was going to choose her because they had the most connection, at least physical connection that we could see, the chemistry, we did wonder if it would have lasted. Like if it was just
Yeah.
a physical,
That's true.
versus
That's
an
true.
I don't know
actual
if she ever
deeper
felt
connection.
felt at home on the farm, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think
Being a
she,
city girl.
maybe she didn't, but at the same
Yeah.
time, she would have known that early on, right? She'd have known that early on. She could have left a heck of a lot earlier than she did.
She didn't bring
Yeah,
up
instead
too
of
many
dragging it out.
concerns from
Right.
what I saw.
No,
Exactly.
she was selling herself to him.
'Cause the way-
like choose me. Never. I doubt this.
I'll tell you this: when she was talking to her family, not one time was she like, "I loved it on the farm. It was great. It was such a hard decision." She made it sound like it was easy. Like, you know what? Nah, it's just not for me. I love New York. I don't want to settle. I don't want to make sacrifice. I don't think he's worth the sacrifice. So whatever. It's like if you're saying that now, you knew that before.
Yeah,
you knew that before.
I don't think she had the deep. Maybe he had it with her, but I don't think she had that deep connection with him. And it was just like a fling for her in a way,
Right,
and it was very easy for her to.
No, it's her to get
away.
famous, man. It's her to get her face on TV and get famous. That's the way I look at it now. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know.
I felt bad for Ryan though, man. I was like, and like I said, he was crying, man. I mean, when they were talking to him after, you could see he just got done crying. His eyes were red. He had a couple little tears in there still. So he took it hard,
And if he thought that was going to be his choice to find that out at this point, yeah, that's pretty devastating.
Oh, absolutely.
And now he's probably like, now what do I do?
Yeah. But I mean, but it did
we'll
work.
see how he feels about Sarah V in this next episode here. But
I would like to think that he reached out to Haley before being rejected by Sarah. I really want to believe that and hope that's the case.
Well, he did. Because
at least that's how the show portrayed it, but you don't really know that. And I really hope that's the case. That it wasn't just a. But we did see this work out on Love Is Blind, right? With Zach and Bliss. He got rejected, and then he was like, "Oh, I made a mistake," and they're great. They're so far still going strong, and it takes a lot of kind of eating your own pride to go through that. So
absolutely,
kudos to Ryan for that. So
I'm very interested to see how it turns out, especially with Haley, if she comes back or not. So
we were. What's funny is we've been kind of complaining about pretty dramaless uneventful show, and then here we go. Now we got it right.
Now we got it.
And unfortunately, it's at poor Ryan's expense here. And when a little bit of Hunter's too, because the woman he's dang near in love with is. Taking him for a ride, and he just ain't want to see it. So.
I don't think it works out for Hunter.
No.
Both girls are too young and don't really want to pick up their lives. So
maybe we're just seeing snippets of that too, and they're trying to create drama, and they've had further conversations. I don't know.
Well, we're here, and we can only comment on what we know.
I mean, out of all these guys, I think Alan's the best situation right now.
Agreed.
And then Landon's actually a pretty decent situation right now too.
Alan's got a tough choice between.
He does. Alan's got a really tough choice because
Kelsey.
I mean, both their families were great. They're both great girls. They're both very different girls, right? Kelsey's a more bubbly, outgoing person. He mentioned that, and where Rebecca's more reserved, like him, right? So. Yeah, he's got a tough decision, man. Really tough decision.
All right, so quickly, let's get to predictions before the finale. What's happening, Billy?
So,
who's Alan choose?
I'm hoping he chooses Rebecca. He's probably going to choose Kelsey. Right?
I think he chooses Kelsey.
He's probably going to choose Kelsey. Yeah, I hope he chooses Rebecca. With Landon, Landon's probably going to choose Sarah. I mean, Ashley R., I think. But I could, again, like I said earlier, I could see him going with Ashley L., but I think he's going to choose Ashley R. Ryan, I don't know if Ryan's gonna end up with anybody. To be quite honest, I mean, if he does, it'd probably be Sarah V. But at this point, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens there. And then with Hunter, he's just making the wrong decision. Period. He's gonna go with Megan. Yeah. He's gonna go with Megan, and he's gonna be miserable.
Agreed.
He is gonna be miserable.
Yeah, I agree with all that. So, I think Rebecca could be good for Alan, but I do think so. he is leaning more towards Kelsey.
Well, I think he ultimately goes with Kelsey because. Rebecca, there's so much hesitation for her to move, and he has approached this so much as a very sensible, he's trying to use his heart a little bit, but he's also using, he's been very slow in the process, like trying to make sure he makes the right decision. Mm-hmm. Calculated is, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're right, because he's actually figuring out who would actually match here on the farm.
Exactly.
Right, where the other guys, a lot of them, they ain't seeming to freaking, focus on it as much as he is, so I think he's doing a good job of that.
Yeah, and I think Kelsey's just the best fit to be able, she's open and willing to do that. The family, her family,
very country
him.
family.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's
and she doesn't have as many ties. She doesn't own her own horse training business, so she doesn't have the kind of ties to where she's at to where Rebecca does. So I'd agree with that.
All right, just one more episode to go.
That's right, everybody. Please, we just told you what we thought. Let us know what you think about it. Let us know what you think about what Sarah H did there, man, because that was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But, as always, love doing it for you guys. And till next time, we will check you at our next review.
See ya.
See ya.
Same thing with me.
I always is. No, I don't. What? I don't know. I do think something might have happened.
Man.
Something might have happened between the two of them.
Crazy.
I didn't say it like that.
Something might have happened.
crazy is though, man, was just Sarah Beat's so tall, man. Damn, like,
She's
he's
tall.
he's got to do this to make out. You know, I couldn't imagine that, man.
You think that's a problem?
Yeah.
Do we need?
It would be for
You
me.
think he's got to like stand on his
It
tippy
would be
toes?
for me.
How tall are you?
I want to see Ryan being attracted to Cassidy Joe.
Do you think that Ryan has watched some of these shows now and seen how Devon opened that beer bottle and was like, "Whoa,
He's like,
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
who wouldn't?
these two guys were sold on Devon.
I'm like,
You don't even drink beer."
I'm like, give me a beer.
Every guy was sold on Devon. All my buddies I've talked to watch this show are all like, dude, you see that beer bottle there?
You don't even drink beer.
That's cool what you do with that beer, but give me a Smirnoff Ice and you're good, baby.